Hello, welcome. So, I'm here in my little cave. Do you like my little poster back there? It's not my poster, but it's my little cave for where I am right now. Some things you might hear my little dog Clifford off to the side. I have this deck that I got in England, and it's been calling to me for a few days. And this Wisdom of Avalon. And it's funny that this has been calling to me because when I opened it, this was a card that was on top. And so what this card says, the Lady of the Lake, and this is funny for other reasons, but the Lady of the Lake, and it says absolute truth, courage, self-respect, responsibility. Excuse me. And it was funny that this card came up. And I haven't even read the description, like in the actual book. But when I read this card, something that came up today was, I'll tell you this, I've never enjoyed the word respect. And it's not because I don't have it, and it's not because I don't give respect to others. Just like the word God, how some people have I don't know about the word God, source, universe, it really all means the same thing. But I once told someone that I was like, no, I don't like that word, respect. And that has to do with childhood stuff. So that's my stuff that I work on. Honor. I always love the word honor. But here this Lady of the Lake brings up self-respect, responsibility, courage, and absolute truth. So if you're here, you may need to hear this because this is coming up in the field. And it was so interesting. I had a little side note. I had a little interaction just the other day. And I never really thought it had to do with self-respect or honoring myself. So this message might be for you. Something that has come up. It's like, when do we stay silent and when do we speak up, right? And you may have been like me, where you have been taught the good girl thing. Always be a good girl. If someone's food sucks, tell them you love it. If someone gives you something that you really don't enjoy, tell them you love it. See, that's unblocking of the throat chakra. Can you hear it? Does my voice sound kind of sexy right now? I think it sounds just a little bit sexy. If it sounds sexy, leave me a comment in the description below. Oh, look, it's changing now. Which way was sexier? Was it the throaty voice or was it this voice? Anyway, throat clearing, throat chakra clearing. Recently, I've been kind of like, okay, let me just tell you a little bit about me. I have this thing, and maybe you too. Maybe you've been a people pleaser all your life. Why can't everybody just get along? I always felt like it was more of a, why can't, people can just get along. There's a way for people to get along and to bring kindness into everything. And it is true that you can bring love. Not talking about romantic love. You can bring love, like open-hearted, chest opening, wow, kind of love, that love you see when you're just in this state of euphoria and you're out in nature, or you're looking at your kid, or you're looking at your pet, or your spouse. It could be romantic love, right? But I'm talking about like heartfelt, divine, like unshakable, just love and awe in here. That's what I'm talking about. So with that experience came confrontation. Oh my God. How many of you do not like confrontation? You'd rather do anything else besides have confrontation. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're the opposite. Maybe you're like, yeah, let me at them. I'll show them, right? Just which part of you is showing them, by the way? Do you know? It's not necessarily here. It's more of like our egoic aspects. And we have like our regular egoic aspects, depending on when you're in your journey. And then you've got your spiritual egoic aspects. Not something I knew about before. Shocker, huh? We're always working on how to merge all these selves into one self. So conflict came up. Is it conflict? What did I just say? Confrontation, conflict, discomfort. There's always one person that wants to be in charge and show what's what. Let me tell you what's going to go on. And there's another person that is either coming, when they're coming at you, you're like, hey, wait a second. Or you're like this and you shy in and you go inward. That's a thing too. So what the Lady of the Lake is coming forth to talk about, this lady right here, she is coming forth because at some point in your life, confrontation's been possibly difficult for you. And you know, maybe you're one of those people that are like, oh, that's what I should have said. I could have said this. And really, you know what, guys, that's just an egoic aspect. Beautiful ego wants to come in and keep us safe, keep us comfortable. It's okay to be comfortable. But if we want to grow, we got to have a little discomfort too. So here I am, and up walks discomfort. That's what we'll call this person. Up walks discomfort and wants to tell me exactly where I belong and where I don't belong. And at the time, I didn't realize that this was an opportunity. Yes, folks, an opportunity arises when these different experiences occur. I had my headphones on. I heard and felt somebody coming. And I kind of chose to ignore. I was kind of just trying to see what would happen, actually. And the person actually like chased me down. Not literally like chasing after me. They had a dog, and their dog, it was great, got to me first, of course. And I looked down and I kind of looked at my phone. I was like, hello, how you doing? And this person wanted to tell me like where I belonged and where I didn't belong. This was not like a house of private property, by the way. I've had this happen once before. It brought it up for me this morning when I was in Sedona. So I'm often in Sedona. I'm often in Colorado. I'm often in Mount Shasta currently. So this person came to give me an opportunity. So we learn to keep these boundaries from childhood. And they're not always our boundaries. The Lady of the Lake is asking us to look at our boundaries. When is it time to stand up for yourself? When is it time to unclear that throat chakra and speak your truth, but speak it in a way that's honorable? And I thought about it at the time, like, how can I respond in love? Later, that thing that I was doing, which is like, what would I have said then? Would have been possibly asking the person a question. Because the person came to me asking a question, so why not ask a question back? Why not do the thing that happens in therapy most often, where, a question gets asked with a question? My biggest thing is, can I diffuse an experience, a situationship that might be happening in front of me? How can I diffuse that? Is it possible that I can do a little magic here and there and bring back the person from where they are up here and like out here floating around? Do you like my lights? Out here floating around and back in their body, because they're literally out of their body. So it's almost a time of compassion that you can have for a person or an experience that brings this into you, is the fact that whatever they have going on in their life is like, pop them out of their body. And they got this little like avatar walking around and projecting onto other people what's going on in their life. That person was asking me about boundaries. Do I know my boundaries? Do you know your boundaries? That's what I learned from this particular person. Not what I could have, should have, would have said. It was about boundaries, parameters. How far are they going? Do I speak up for myself? Do you speak up for yourself? The Lady of Avalon is asking this. Do we have the courage to speak up, but not react, respond? And don't be afraid when confrontation comes to you. We often think that we need to respond right away. My response was, I hear you. I got you. I will tell you that this person walked away, but then definitely was like hovering around to see what I was going to do. Was I going to heed that person's advice? Was I not? That's what they were waiting around for. Now, I was not, because I was in a place where I was fully within my freedom and my right to be where I was. And I was enjoying my walk. So I continued to enjoy my walk. And I noticed the person later. And I thought, in the past, I would have been a little like put off. I'm just going to walk this other direction. Instead, I walked toward the person with the dog. Now, they were very far off, but as soon as they noticed me walking towards them, they started walking faster the other direction. I thought that was funny. So they were brave enough to confront me the first time. So kudos to them for the bravery and the outspokenness. And then afterwards, realizing that there was no effect, they decided to walk the opposite direction. They no longer wanted to speak with me. So that was nice, because I enjoyed the rest of my walk. And then I met somebody else that also lived in the area, and they were more than happy to speak with me and my dog and just find out little things about both of us. So, there I had in one outing 2 polarities happening, right? One talking about boundaries and exclusion, and another talking about kind of boundaries. She was talking about a snake, like a little gardener snake her dog found, and she was trying to keep him at bay, but let him sniff. She was using boundaries too. I was on the other side of a gate at that point. By the way, this isn't like a gated community, but there's a boundary put up to say, hey, don't walk through here. And I hadn't walked through there, actually. I was in a different part, and I opened the door, and I came through, and I was welcomed into the neighborhood. And, oh, who's your dog? So it was a great experience. It was like what's going on here? And then it was okay. And then now contemplation the day after, right? So the Lady of the Lake is asking you to check into your boundaries. Speak your voice. And what is self-respect for you? When is it time to honor you? To honor this, like, this is your inner child, by the way. You're the self-advocate for this inner child. I have a little me inside of me, as do you. So how are you an advocate for yourself when it comes to a job, a boss, a friend, a family member? And instead of doing the coulda, woulda, shoulda thing, how can you step up for yourself in your life with love? What does that look like for you? Only you can know that. If you wanted to talk about how you would respond, how would you respond with curiosity? How would you respond with a question? It's still kind of like preparing for the next time, because you know these experiences come up and then they go away and then they come up again, right? So there's a boundary opportunity for me right now, which is why I'm doing this video. So there's a boundary opportunity for you to assess your boundaries, to act with courage, and to stand in your absolute truth. Does she look like she's ready to fight? What does she look like to you, this Lady of Avalon? She carries this sword of Avalon, this sword of truth, King Arthur's sword. What would King Arthur do? What would Guinevere do? Nobody ever really talks about Guinevere, huh? How would Guinevere, how would the divine feminine respond? So here's this card for you today. I'm going to go ahead in here and look, it opens up right to it. Number 8, by the way. 8. We are in the month of 8. Infinity. And we've got abundance. So I'm going to tell you what the Lady of the Lake encourages us to do. So the Lady of the Lake actually presented Merlin with the sword to give to Arthur. And so we have this in-between person that often comes and kind of starts to hand over a gift. You know, pay attention to that in your life. We have these people that come in between to give us like a foreshadowing as to what is going to possibly come up for us to pay attention to in our life. So the Lady of the Lake tells us that this is not a time to second guess. Interesting, right? I was like, signals will be coming. Signs are all around us. This is a time for moving forward. And acknowledge that there will be challenges, but not unnecessary difficulties. The Lady of the Lake is saying, take care. There is serious business at stake. She reminds us, for us personally, to have responsibility because we shape our reality. Seek the sword of truth within yourself, and great success is yours. Seek the sword of truth within yourself, and great success is yours. So this could be a message also for somebody that has had questions, how to move forward. How will you move forward? You know, it's not huge steps you have to take a lot of the time. Someone recently told me 1%. If you can make 1% of change in your life, what would that be? What would that be toward your goal? another word I never really enjoyed because it talked about looking into the future. You know, I wanted to be where I was now. But it is necessary to kind of like a little foreshadowing, feel into things. How do you feel about the decision you're making? Are you making the decision or is somebody else? Pay attention to that. That's boundaries. You're being asked right now. Pay attention. The lady of the lake orders it. I am the lady of the loo, by the way. More on that on another video. Lady of the loo. The lady of the loo and the lake, both which have to do with water, by the way, is asking you to harness your strength. And you are supported in your quest. You are supported with wholeness and abundance. Lots of support. I don't know if you guys are into dragons, angels, ancient stones. Let's pull a card real quick. Ancient stones. Ancient stones. How will you support us today? Ancient stones. What needs to be known for the collective today? Right off, I have two cards that just pop out. Here we go. Pave your way. Is that brilliant or what? We just talked about decisions that whoever's watching this video might have a decision to make, and how are you going to do it? You're going to do it like everybody else. You're going to follow everyone else's steps. It's okay to go get examples. It's okay to kind of like use what's working. But what is your way? How are you going to pave your way? Wow. She is off. Her back heart chakra is lit up. Her back solar plexus chakra is lit up. This person is on their way, be it man or woman, on their way. And look what they're traversing. Do you see that? It's not a stable path, but they're finding their footing. There is footing on each of these stones. And it's one step at a time, 1%. Take a step. There's the peak, there's the mountain. You see, it's lit up right here, rainbow light. And it's just waiting for you. Do you see all this right here? You are totally supported by solar light, lighting up your path. You could say this is your yellow brick road. See the golden tones. Pave your own way. Step into your light. Step into yourself, your self-respect. Don't worry about opposition that comes to you. This is what you're being told right now. Leadership, courage, forge, don't follow. See, I said, go ahead and follow someone, but do your own way. This is telling you don't follow. Forge your own way. There's something about you that's unique, that's special, that nobody else has. You have it in you. What's this one? Ooh, secret chamber. Look at that. You're entering a time to choose. There's a portal. There's a choice. I know that sometimes people can be afraid of the dark, but it's in the dark, in the shadow, that when we light up, there's no more shadow. We see it. We see exactly what is needed to be seen at the time that we see it. So pay attention to the light. It's in the shadow that we often find ourselves. So don't be afraid of your shadow either. There's going to be parts of you telling you not to move forward, not to keep going, can't do it, not enough time. 1%. 1% today, 1% tomorrow, Take the steps. You're on your way. Go through the doorway, the portal, the gateway. Potency, treasure there be, and deep connection. Find that deep connection within you. Everything is within you. You've got this. So take the step, 1%, and move forward. Talk to you later.